Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Tinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha
I can't remember it all, Prabhu, sorry. So, today we are going to start on Srila Prabhupada's purport and translation of Srila Vyasadev's verses on Srimad Bhagavatam. Cantus 2, chapter 6, text 28, isn't it?
Yes. Right.
This is Iti sampratra samparahya
Iti sampratra sampara
Guru Purishvara Yadiraham
Purushayaderaham
Tat evam purusham yajevam
Tameva Purusham Yadyam
Te Shangyam Isvaram
Tenayavayam Ishvaram
Isamvara Sambaraya
Iti Samvrata Sambara
Purusha Yatir Aham
Purushayaderaham
Tam evam Purusha Yagyam
Tameva Purusham Yadyam
Te Vayam Gyana Ishvaram
Tenayavayam Ishvaram Iti Samvritya Sambara
Iti Samvritya Sambara
Purushayaderaham
Purushayaderaham
Tameva Purusham Yagnam
Tameva Purusham Yadyam
Tenayavayam Ishvaram
Tenayavayam Ishvaram
Iti sambrata sambaraha
Iti Samvrita Sambara
Purushavaya vairaham
Purushayaderaham
Tameva purusham yagyam
Sameva Purusham Yagyam
Tenaivayajam Ishvaram
Tenayavayam Ishvaram. Ladies,
Iti samvrita sambara
Iti Samvrita Sambara
Purushavaya vairaham
Purushayaderaham
Eva Purusham Yagnam
Tameva Purusham Yadyam
Vinayvayajam Ishvaram
Tenayavayam Ishvaram Iti Samvrita Sambara Purushayaderaham Tameva Purusham Yadyam Tenayavayam
Ishvaram
Iti samvrita sambara
Iti Samvrita Sambara
Purushavaya vairaham
Purushayaderaham
Tameva purusham yagnam
Tameva Purusham Yadyam
Tenaiva yagnam isvaram
Tenayavayam Ishvaram
Iti,
Iti
thus,
Thus
Samvrata,
Samvrata
executed,
executed
Sambraha,
Sambara
equipped myself well,
equipped myself well
Purusha,
Purusha
the personality of Godhead,
the personality of Godhead
Jnanir, by the parts and parcels,
by the parts and parcels
Aham,
Aham
I,
I
Tvam Eva,
Tameva
unto him,
unto him
Purusam, the
Purusham
personality of Godhead,
personality of Godhead
Yayam,
Yam
the enjoyer of sacrifices,
the enjoyer of all sacrifices
Tanya Eva,
Tenayeva
all those,
all those
Isvyam, Isayam, worshipped,
worship
Isvaram, the
Ishvaram
supreme controller.
the supreme controller.
Thus I have created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering, for offering sacrifice out of the parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of the sacrifice. And I performed the sacrifice to satisfy the Lord. Purport. People in general are always anxious to have peace of mind or peace in the world, but they do not know how to achieve it. Such a standard of peace in the world, that they do not know how to achieve such a standard of peace in the world. Such peace in this world is obtainable by performances of sacrifice. and by the practice of austerities. In the Bhagavad Gita 5:2-9, thus follows the following prescription is recommended. Bhaktaram gyam gyam tapasya sarvaloka maheshvaram sukhadam sarva bhutenam jnanam mam santa uchiti. The Karmi Yogis know that the Supreme Lord is the factual enjoyer and the maintainer of all sacrifices of austere life. Thus also known that the Lord is the ultimate proprietor of all the planets and is the actual friend of all living entities. Such knowledge gradually converts the Karma Yogi into pure devotees of the Lord. Although the association of unalloyed devotees, and thus they are able to be liberated from material bondage. Brahma, the original living being within the material world, taught us the way of sacrifice. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own existence for the satisfaction of a second person. That is the way of all activities. Every man is engaged in sacrificing his interests for others, either in the form of family, society, community, country, or in the entire human society. But perfection of such sacrifices is attained when they are performed for the sake of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord. Because the Lord is the proprietor of everything, because the Lord is the friend of all living creatures, and because He is the maintainer of the performance of sacrifice, as well as the supplier of the ingredients of sacrifice. It is He only, and no one else, who should be satisfied by all sacrifices. The whole world is engaged in sacrificing energy for the advancement of learning, social upliftment, economic development, and plans for total improvement of the human condition. But one is interested in sacrifice for the sake of the Lord. It is to be advised that in the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, there is no peace. It is advised in the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, there is no peace in the world. If men all want peace in the world, they must practice sacrifice in the interest of the Supreme Proprietor and friend to all. So here Srila Prabhupada says, people in general are always interested in having peace of mind. Peace of mind means happiness. Without peace of mind, one just suffers all types of mental agitation. So we have all experienced life of mental agitation, especially in our youth, because we just depended upon Srila Prabhupada to give us the transcendental knowledge. But actually, when we met Srila Prabhupada, we had no peace of mind. I didn't. I had no peace of mind at all. It was only until I came in contact with Srila Prabhupada and heard the name Krishna and heard the name of Bhagavad Gita and met Srila Prabhupada's disciples and bowed down to his lotus feet and offered him flower, was I able to understand anything about spiritual life. At that point, my spiritual life began. So until now, every day is renewed, recharged, and multiplied. So this is so you can see practically in your own life how day by day advancement is made. Even though I have a period each day where I'm totally lost, where I have no idea if I'm coming or going, whether I have any validity as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, or I'm just a fallen, very fallen personality, just like everybody else that you see walking around the street. But then Prabhupada always comes back and he rejuvenates my meditation upon him. And I'm sure that every devotee has this experience in their own way. So this point here, so such peace in this world is attainable by the performances of sacrifices meant for a practice of austerity. Prabhupada took away the feeling of yes, Srila Prabhupada took away the meaning of austerity. He made austerity bliss, happy. So we personally saw Srila Prabhupada living a very austere life. He living only out of a bag. Because Srila Prabhupada is always moving. He had a bag for his tape recorder. He had a bag for his Bhagavatams. He had a bag for the books of the previous acharyas, like Jiva Goswami, Pundarika, and he studied these books as he was doing his translations. So you see in the beginning of the book, Srila Prabhupada dedicates the book to Baladev Vijayabhushan. So Baladev Vijayabhushan is the one who established our society, our Sampradaya, as the bona fide Vaishnava Sampradaya within the Vaishnava Sampradayas. Because previously, the Vaishnava Sampradayas, they could not accept at all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Chincha Veda Veda Tattva. But because of Baladev Vijayabhushan, under the order of his Guru Maharaj, Lokanath Das Goswami, ordered him to take the essence of all of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Siddhanta and present it in a forum of many saints of the Vaishnava and I think even the Shaivite Sampradayas, where each were presenting their conclusions. So later it talks about the karma yogi. What was he? The karma yogi is the person who just does things for putative activities, just for result. And then there's karma yogis, karma yoga, which is considered to be the almost equal to bhakti. So what are they talking about? Karma yoga for realization of Krishna is considered to be almost the same as Krishna. But this meditation is done within the forest by the yogis. The yogis see the trees and they say, the trees are the hairs on the body of the Lord. They see the streams. The streams is the semen of the Lord, nourishing all the plants. They see everything, the flowers, is the smile of the Lord. So in this way, they don't actually have meditation on the actual Archa Vigraha, but they have meditation of Super Soul within the heart. And they're meditating on keeping him placed within the heart. And this meditation is very bona fide meditation, and you will see saints of Vrindavan practicing this form of karma yoga and bhakti yoga. We were talking about last time we were in Vrindavan, we saw a saint laying on the Krishna Balaram road. And the dust was this deep because it hadn't rained for so long. And the trucks were going by back and forth and tearing up the ground and making the dust even more. So this person, he looked like a retarded person from a mental institution. And he was laying in the dust. and he had drool coming out of his mouth, and the drool was covered in dust. He had tears coming out of his eyes and pouring down on the side, and the tears were covered in dust. His eyes were covered in dust. And the trucks were coming, and they knew that that saint would not move. So these big trucks, these big water trucks, taking water from the Jamuna to construction sites, they went very, very slow as they passed him. 1 inch, and then they hit the truck, bump, bump. 1 inch, bump, bump, and the saint's head would be right next to the tires of the car. And then they would get out of the truck, and they would bow down and pray to him and offer him flowers. And that sadhu picked one flower up and put it in his mouth and started to eat. That's the only thing he ate that day was a flower, a chrysanthemum. Later on, when everyone left and there was nobody on the road, it was right in front of Brahmananda Maharaj's place. I think it's called, forget the name of the place. Anyway, it was right in front of his house, right by the Krishna Balaram tree. I bowed down to him when nobody was around, and I said, "Please save me." He threw a flower at me, and I put it in my mouth. So now I hear that they have made a temple for him. I don't know if it's true. I've heard rumor. And he lays in front of the deities of Krishna Balaram, and he always has a flower in his mouth. I think Indraduna Maharaj goes and photographs all these places. Maybe it's just in my dreams I imagined this, but I think it's true. So when I want to go back to Vrindavan to see if there is really a temple there with this saint with a flower in his mouth, because all he eats is flowers from the deities. He doesn't take any other prasad. And people say he's 400 or 500 years old. Many people come and pray to him, and they say, many people come to him for karma. They come to say, "Oh, Maharaj, I bow down to you. Please tell me the lottery tickets numbers." And the Maharaj says, They go, "Oh, that's a 1. And then they go, "Maharaj, is it 2? He goes, "Maharaj, is it 3? Maharaj says, And then 1, 4. And then they actually get the winning ticket, and then they come back and say, "Maharaj, we won the lottery. We won $1,000. We won 2,000 rupees, and we give it all to you. We take only 20%." And Maharaj throws him some more flowers. Now I've heard that he's got this temple built by these rich people. Similarly, there's rich people in this neighborhood, in this area, because of this conduction energy that's being produced there's a plant that produces conduction energy, and the energy goes by tube, just like they have in Russia. Jaya Madhava tells me that all the heating for the whole city of Moscow is all typed in. Every house has free heat. Free. Because they say the people are entitled to be warm in the winter. There should not be any charge for this. So this has happened here in this area, this conduction energy, and you see all these pipes that they're laying, and you see the trucks going by with the conduction energy, especially down here on the beach. Yesterday we went on the beach and we saw how, and I said, this is where the conduction energy is being used, because it's flat. It's easy for it first to go flat. To go up, it has to fill all the flat section first, then they can slowly pump it up to higher levels. So this is going to happen. So this new Talavana is like a flower ready to go into full bloom. I never realized the advantages of this situation, of this area, of the climate, because this energy could be put in every greenhouse. So what do you think if you have free heat in all of the greenhouses? How many things can you grow? How many tulsi plants can you grow? So many plants, and you can sell them on the market and make money for the town. Anyway, the next thing is, tell me when I should stop, or I'll just keep going.
8:30 we generally stop.
What time is it now? 8:02. Okay. So the next one is Brahma, the original living entity, lived within the material world and taught us the way of sacrifice. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interest and for satisfaction of the second person. So Lord Brahma, he is the most pious of all living entities. In this universe, whoever is the most pious living entity, in their next life, they take birth as Lord Brahma in their own universe. This is the position of when you fall from Vaikuntha, and it's the position when you leave. This is the old system which you will find in Madhva Acharya's Sampradaya. It's called the gradual process of devotional service, by which you gradually attain higher and higher position. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's position is, Prabhupada said, like elevator. You don't have to go from Brahmalok to Tapalok to Satyalok to Siddhalok to Charnalok to the earth, and then down to this lower planets like the Tapalalok, all down to the lower planets, or become a germ. So there's a type of germ. Probably says it's the Indragopa germ. The Indragopa germ is a germ that's so small that even a germ looks like a universe to this germ. It's so small. So it's the lowest form of life you can attain. And the highest form is Brahma. So we can say that now we have already been in Indragopa germ. We have already been through all this, because now we're coming back up, because now we've attained devotional service. Srila Prabhupada is different. Srila Prabhupada has nothing to do with this material world, nothing to do with this universe. Nothing to do with the billions of universes. We know him as Guru of the earth planet. But Srila Prabhupada is the spiritual master of everything. Beyond all, because he is connected intimately with Krishna. Why do we know this? Because he is establishing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. He is the Shaktavish avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, empowered incarnation. So we see Srila Prabhupada just like we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Nitai. Nitai Gaur. Because Srila Prabhupada is completely empowered by Nityananda and Chaitanya. So Lord Brahma, he is born out of the lotus flower when he first comes, and when he comes, there's nothing. All he sees in the universe is empty. It's just a shell. It's a bubble that came out of the body of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu sleeps, and as he sleeps, so many sweat pores come out. And in that sweat, the sweat is the Garbhadaksha, the Karnadaksha is the ocean of I think Karnadaksha ocean. And in that sweat there is the universe. It's like a little ball. And in that ball is a Brahma. So when he's born, he enters, it's like an empty balloon, nothing inside, he doesn't know where he is. He's just sitting on the lotus flower, sitting in meditation, like the Karma Yogi, and he hears, ta, he hears this, pa, om. So he said, what is this? Where did that come from? Where did this sound come from? So he says, he hears it again. Pa, pa, om. So he gets off the lotus flower and he starts to climb down the stem. Where is the sound? Pa, pa. He can't find it. So he spends a long time climbing down the lotus. And then he finally gets back onto the lotus and sits and he says, oh, now I understand. I had to perform austerity to get knowledge. So as he starts to perform austerity, after many, many years, all of a sudden, from his mind, Lord Shiva appears. Lord Shiva appears because Vishnu is entering the material world in his Guna avatar of Shiva. And Guna avatar, he controls the material nature. He is Lord of the material nature. So when Vishnu, there's Krishna, then there's Vishnu. There's Krishna, then there's Narayan, Baladev, Balaram, Nityananda. Then there's his expansions, Pradumna, Aniruddha, Shankarshan, so many Vishnu's expansions. And then he so then he becomes Lord Shiva, because Shiva when he appears, each place he is the Lord of that planet. Each Vishnu has his own planet. He has a planet within the spiritual world. So when Vishnu comes into the material world, he comes as Sadashiva. He comes as Mahavishnu. So this Sadashiva, half Vishnu, half Shiva, Harihara. We see in Mayapur there's a deity of Lord Vishnu. One half is black, one half is white. So the white part is Shiva. The black part is Sham, Narayan. So Shiva, he appears. So as soon as he appears, he must appear with his consort. Just like Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, Lakshmi Narayan. Now we have Shiva Parvati. And Parvati has two sides. She has a sweet side and she has a mean side. It's just like if your wife is at home and you treat her badly, she's not going to be nice to you. She's going to be angry and yell and scream. So that's going to be the Kali side, Durga side. And then when you're very sweet to her, you give her everything she wants, and then she's very happy with you and she's everything. Then she becomes Subhadra, the sister of Krishna. All of a sudden, she's very sweet. So Parvati, she has these two sides. She has the sweet side, and she has the hard side. And her hard side is, she wants to destroy every demon in the material world. She doesn't allow anybody out of this. This is a prison. She's in charge of the prison. No one's allowed in. No one's allowed out. You're allowed in, but not out. So as soon as you get, again, as soon as you get into a prison, that's when you become the bug. That's when you become the ant. Mm-hmm. And then when you are ready for rehabilitation, you're like on parole. You just have to wear a leg brace. You can go out and walk around, but you have to check in every night. And you're gradually going to be released back home, back to Godhead. So we, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we are all on parole. We have, as soon as we leave this material world, we go back home, back to Godhead, because Prabhupada has saved us. It's already happened. There's nothing we can do about it. We're destined to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, whether he says, oh, after some time, would you like to come with me in my Leela in another place? No, Srila Prabhupada, I want to sit here with Krishna and put ladus in his mouth. I would say, no, Prabhupada, wherever you want to go. You want to go to, Creamy Bhojana? Let's go. I'm ready. It's just as long as I'm with you, Prabhupada, there's no feeling that anything is bad. But anything is off. So that we are his eternal servants. So wherever Srila Prabhupada goes, we are so blessed to be able to appear along with, his other godbrothers, with my godbrothers. My godbrothers are all saints of Srila Prabhupada and my godsisters. In our movement, the ladies are not like ordinary ladies. They're empowered, some much more empowered than the men. If you look at Vishaka Devi in London, who is more empowered than Vishaka in our movement? Just think of what she did. Ever since she has been with Srila Prabhupada, what did she do? She categorized Srila Prabhupada's whole life in film. And this is going to go down as one of the visual shastras for the future. It will last thousands and thousands of years. Now it's going digital. Once it's digital, how long it can last, it can even be transmitted. You can transmit it everywhere. It's digital. So Vishaka, she was with Srila Prabhupada. How much time did Vishaka have with Srila Prabhupada? Maybe about 5,000 times more than I had with Srila Prabhupada. Maybe 10,000 times more than I had with Srila Prabhupada. Vishaka had. How empowered this lady is. Now, I hear she's president of Bhaktivedanta Manor. So if that's so, then I think that all world leaders come and visit the manor. All the world leaders go there. The Queen of England has visited the manor. The Prince, everyone, all the highest people in world aristocracy, they have visited the manor. So what kind of service? So we are just very much in awe of some ladies. Mula Prakriti also, unbelievable devotee. How many books she distributed. Constantly distributed books. Always blissful. Always happy. Her husband, also wonderful book distributor, never stops selling books. Always. I know now he's still, I hear he lives by himself, but I'm sure he's still talking to people, preaching to people, and trying to get them books. What is his name? Gopavrinda. Have you ever met Gopavrinda? You really feel that you're in the company of a saint. His mother and father were also karma yogis. They were followers of Yogananda, the previous person who brought karma yoga to America in the 30s. So he took birth in a family of yogis in this age. So who is Gopavrinda? So we think like this: what great devotees we have in our movement, how empowered our movement is, how at this very moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's act, he is admitting himself, and then one final point. Well, are there any questions or anything? Are there any questions about what we've spoken about so far, or comments? Yes?
Prabhu, I just really appreciate so much how you are just glorifying devotees. How that's such a wonderful thing. You know, you think that all the time when you read these pastimes of these devotees that they had with Srila Prabhupada, it just brings you to tears, and you wonder, who are these saintly people that have given so much, just like that, just right away, so surrendered and did so much for Srila Prabhupada. So it's so wonderful for me to hear you speak about your God brothers and everything.
Yeah, there's so many wonderful devotees. Yadabara also.
Yeah.
And Siddhanta. He's also like them. He's recording everything. Siddhanta Prabhu. I'm recommending to Siddhanta Maha that he comes here because there's many people here. I'm sure he hasn't interviewed. He's always finding new devotees to interview. And I told him, I said, Siddhanta, I visited New Talavana. Have you been there? He said, not for a long time. I don't know when he's...
He came in 2016.
When?
2016.
2016.
He recorded some memories about Yogendra Prabhu, Siddhanta Kriya over there. He recorded some, he had a Guru Dasa coming with the 50th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
The New Orleans devotees paid for them, sponsored them, some of these Prabhupada disciples to come. And it was a nice festival. So Siddhanta was here then.
Yeah, so he needs. I'm going to suggest that he comes again. I don't know when is a good time for him to come. When you think that there's the major amount of people will be here, I can suggest to him. Maybe in the summer when it's.
There are still devotees here that haven't spoken. That aren't like Prabhu. They were here when Prabhupada was here. He's not on the.
He just went to Australia.
Siddhanta.
And he interviewed Mukunda Maharaj again, and interviewed all the Australian devotees that lived on the farm, Morilabad, the old farm. And he's a lot of them are very, very. You can see them on his. That he has up now. John.
So come in the Cow Festival, probably October.
The Cow Festival, yeah, that's the time in October. I'll mention to him. Done. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.